Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm back with my post-fight thoughts on Anthony Dirrell versus David Benevidaz. As you know, David Benevidaz, he was able to reclaim his title by a ninth round stoppage against Anthony Dirrell. Before I, talk about the fight real quick, I really got to say shout out to Anthony Dirrell. He's always kind of proven to be, like his nickname says, the dog. Kind of felt bad for him that, when that cut happened and it caused the fight to be stopped. It was a very bad cut in a bad place, but you could tell that he wanted to continue. You could tell he had the heart to continue. He wanted more rounds to go, but sometimes those cuts, they can be dangerous. And all it can take, I always say, is one more round. That one more round could be the one that could cause, serious damage, serious, blind, loss of eyesight, anything. But overall, I think Anthony Dirrell, he was making it a competitive fight for what he could. In the first few rounds of the fight, maybe like the first 4 or 5 rounds, he was really making it a competitive fight for David Benavidez. And I don't know if it was just kind of like the ring rustle on Benavidez, but to me, Benavidez, he showed a few holes in his game. Especially in a top level fight like this. I think his game plan against Anthony Dirrell, it didn't really take effect until that cut. That cut took that cut opened up on Dirrell's eye. Because first few rounds of the fight, I felt like Dirrell, he was boxing a smart fight. He was using the a simple weapon but a very effective weapon. He was jabbing. He was jabbing straight to the head and to the body, and very very good jabs to the body he was using on Dirrell. Then he was slipping in some good right hands up top. Off of the jab. And I think Benavidez, he was definitely kind of just moving forward, walking forward, and just waiting for Dirrell to stop. Every time Dirrell would stop, that's when he would kind of unload his jab and his onslaught of punches on the ropes. And Dirrell, I think if he would have stuck more to a game plan of just, sticking, jabbing, moving, side to side, I think that the outcome would have been different. He probably wouldn't have got caught with that left hand that opened that cut over his right eye, because he started kind of taunting a little bit too. He kind of fell into the game plan of Benavidez, and Benavidez started dropping his hands, opening his mouth, all that crazy taunting. I can't stand taunting, sometimes in boxing, especially when guys try to counter taunting with taunting, especially when you taunting a guy that's still dangerous. That was kind of what pissed me off with Dirrell when he started trying to taunt back when, nothing was guaranteed or nothing was in the bag. The fight was just starting and it was close because there was one taunt whenever Dirrell dropped his hands and, Benavidez caught him with a good left jab, So whenever he was kind of falling into Benavidez's mind games of those little taunts like that, I knew that sooner or later Benavidez was going to start catching up to him, and when he did, whenever Dirrell stopped, boxing as much, stopped moving, that's when he started getting caught with shots, even in the later rounds. And when that cut opened up, Benavidez, he was taking advantage of it. He started like dropping left hands on it over that right eye, and really just started kind of not even really hard punches. He was just rubbing that eye with those shots. And like I said, Dirrell, man, he has a good jab. If he would just stuck to the jab and moved side to side and started mixing in the right hands, he probably would have been able to box his way to a decision, especially the way he could touch that body. The body was to be touched. It was there to be touched from Benavidez. His defense isn't that good. It wasn't really like spot on, like he was blocking these shots. Dirrell was getting through with some very solid straight shots. But into those later rounds, whenever Dirrell, started bleeding more and more, he just started slowing down, and that's when Benavidez started like letting his hands go. When you're a stationary target against Benavidez, you're pretty much a sitting duck. He just started firing off more shots until the later half of the fight. And I think it was after round 8, they were considering stopping the fight because there was a lot of times, in between rounds, they kept having to stop and look at the cut, ask how it was. And usually when you're asking like that and you're having to kind of stop and look, the best thing to do is stop the fight because you're really pushing it. And once you look at that thing, it was like a eye over his eye, that's how bad it looked. So when it got to the 9th round, he started taking more heavy shots. They just stopped the fight right there. The doctor actually jumped up, which was crazy. Like Dan Goosen said, man, they should have just threw a damn towel in there. They should have just threw the towel in because, like, somebody might have not saw the fight doctor. He stepped up there and was just, like, waving it off himself. His corner probably should have stepped in and said, hey, man, like, this cut is bad. We got to stop this fight, man, because, like I said, that could really cause some damage. I mean, Dirrell, he's not going to stop it, you know, because he's got the heart to continue, you know. So it's up to his corner to say, hey, this cut is bad. We got to stop the fight, man. And finally they did stop it. But yeah, man, shout out to both of these guys, you know, Benevidaz and Anthony Dirrell. Again, like I said, I had went back even on my Jab podcast on the jabeffect.com. Make sure y'all subscribe. I said that Anthony Dirrell, he was going to make the fight competitive, you know, and boxing math is never a guarantee, man. There's always little things like cuts or, you know, maybe a sickness or whatever that could throw that equation off. And that's what happened last night. You know, that cut is what really threw that fight off. You know, the cut, it could just change a whole fight, man. Because I think Dirrell would have made it more competitive had he not got cut. You know, he had the skill and I think the experience to hang in there with Benevidaz. And you know, Benevidaz, you know, he stated he wanted to fight somebody like Caleb Plant next. And after seeing this fight and what Caleb Plant does, you know, that's going to be a very, very good fight right there. It's a very big challenge for Benevidaz. And if Benevidaz thinks it's going to be easy, he's going to beat up Caleb Plant. He got another thing coming, man, because, like, Caleb Plant, he's a mover and he's a quick jabber and very good left-handed fighter, you know. And when I say left-handed, not southpaw, but the guy can box with I've seen him just box with, you know, one hand, you know, not depend on the right either. You know, he's a very good jabber. So that's the fight I want to see next. You know, that's next for Benevidaz. I want to see him in there with Caleb Plant. You know, let's get another unification going. So, yeah, I want to see that fight. As far as Anthony Dirrell, he said don't count him out. You know, he'll still take on anybody. I believe in him, man. I want to see him come back, maybe get his rematch, or maybe just take another top 10 fight to stay in there. Let that cut heal up first, and you know, make some moves, man. But yeah, that's all I got on this one, guys. Let me know what you thought of the fight. Like I said, you know, sometimes these cuts like that, they happen in boxing. You know, those little things that could throw off a whole game, man. But yeah, man, shout out to both fighters again, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.